Radical thinking. That's what we're going to do. Radical thinking. Hi, Elaine Marilakos Edelson. Welcome to Astrology Mojo. I want to help you get your mojo back. Are you a mojo mystic? I think you are. If you're joining us. If you're new to me and you don't know that I say that the planets in astrology don't make you do anything. That we live in a cooperation with the cosmos. So that when the planets make a move, you feel it. When you make a move, the planets reflect that by way of aspects and angles in astrology. It is so simple. You're not a puppet. But we use these symbols as signs to determine an easier path. It's just one of many ways to get you to where you want to go. And where do you want to go? That's the thing. What are the beliefs that hold you back? That's what we're talking about today. And if you are ready, able, and willing, we can actually go there and affect some positive change. I have to move my chair, pardon me. So come say hello to me. We are going to be talking about the full moon in Scorpio. My chair is on something and it's stuck. We're going to be talking about the full moon in Scorpio. And as we can see right now, that's on the 31st. But this week, we've got Scorpio, Sun and Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. And it's opposing Uranus and Taurus. So this is the evidence that an astrologer would look at and say, oh, people's belief systems are going to get bent out of shape, dismembered, disassembled, poked at, zapped. You know, it depends on who you are. Hey, Christine's here. You made it live. I'm so happy. And so, whoa, sorry. I play with my crystals. This is one of my fluorite crystals. Looks like the mountains behind me. That's why I have it. Oh, wait, here. I took this picture of where I live. And let me get rid of the screenshot. I took it on a misty day. That's right around the corner from me. So, and I'm so grateful for where I live and who I am. But anyway, when I see things that look like where I live, I like, oh, look at that. I want to hold that. I want the entire scene in my hands. All right. So, let's look at belief systems, what you believe and why, and how far it's gotten you or how much you struggle because of it. That's what we're looking at today. And the one main thing, I do many things before I start a Facebook Live, and I meditate and I chant and I throw the astrological dice and I pull cards and I just get really present with what's the theme today. What I could talk about anything, but what do people need more now? And so then I will also use astrology and look at the sign of the times, what's happening in the heavens that would prompt, a topic of discussion. And so today, with the sun in Scorpio, the focus doesn't matter if you have Scorpio sun rising or moon or anything on Scorpio. It's just that the general focus now is about getting to the core of what's really important. The ancient symbol of Scorpio, yes, it's a scorpion and you get stung, but the ancient symbol is of the phoenix rising from the ashes because it represents what we would call today an eagle. But then the phoenix. And so the symbolism that has changed over time really has to do with what does that represent when you get prodded and poked and something wakes you up. And then you discover, oh, wow, I am more powerful than I ever thought possible. And how is that possible that I am still struggling? Or with Scorpio energy, I don't want to look at the dark because it's scary. Or I feel like a victim. And I just want to keep it surface, easy, smooth, happy, light. But then there's a depth to it. And the depth takes you to that place of rebirth. And that's what Scorpio, mixing philosophies, different religions, different astrological terms. When we look at Scorpio, originally it was guided by Mars before Pluto was discovered in the 1900s. So then I would look at Mars as being the younger brother sibling to Pluto. And both energies represent waking you up. But it's not doing it to you, you're doing it to you. And that's where the belief system comes in. So bringing it out of the clouds and down to a very practical level, when I pulled the dice, it was Mars. What's happening? This is what's happening. Mars. What it feels like. Aquarius, which is revolutionary, eclectic, rebellious, outrageous, erratic, impulsive, scary, exciting. Right here in the third house of your belief system, of your understanding of what you think it is. So when we have this discussion, it's not just, oh yeah, I go to school and I get a degree and I get a job and, here's my 5-year plan and then life happens and maybe it works out exactly the way you want it, but then you realize after 5 years, this is not what I want. Or maybe it doesn't work out along the way and you're thinking, why is it so hard? Or maybe you change it along the way and you say, yeah, this feels better. And you're incrementally adjusting and calibrating what you want in life, thereby creating more beliefs about what you get based on who you are in your application. Does that make sense? Because the logical thing is if, let's say I want to lose a couple of pounds and I say, well, I am going to go on a food plan that a bunch of other people are on and they say it works. So I think it can work for me. And then I exercise, or unless it's HCG and you don't exercise, and you start losing some weight and you're like, yeah, this is great. And whether or not you are deprived of food or nutrition on this food plan, you've set out on a goal and then it doesn't work. Or it works, but then over a month or two or time, it stops. What? I gained it back. What they don't talk about on The Biggest Loser is how most of the people gain back the weight. Because what they did was not sustainable. And it's more than just a practical application to get you the thing, because if it were that simple, it would be, everybody would be doing it. But it's really based on many factors. It's a multitude of factors, because we're many faceted beings who, it's not just one plan, serves all. So you go on that plan and you eat certain foods, or you don't eat certain foods, you work out or you don't work out, or you do something and you meditate and you get good sleep and you take your supplements and you see results and you're like, wow, this is great. I believed it would work and it worked. And then you try it again. Maybe 6 months, a year. Maybe you've got an event, you're going to a wedding, you're getting married, you want to lose more weight, and you repeat the plan. And now this time it doesn't work. Well, wait, what's different? How come it worked then? It's not working now. And it drives you insane thinking, I follow the plan step by step, and then the focus, which is what I'm always encouraging, focus on the thing that you would like to do. But then if that focus becomes obsessive, then you're not able to actually get to where you want to go because you're attached to the outcome. You're attached to wanting it so bad, you can't see the forest for the trees. And, oh, wait, Christine has a question. On December 17th, Saturn will move into Aquarius. My natal Saturn is at 19 degrees Aquarius. Is this a Saturn return for me? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So take care of your bones, your skin, your teeth, your nails, your joints. And this is a perfect conversation for you because that's when beliefs come up big time. What do I really believe? Why do I feel limited? When do I feel like a victim? So if you, anyone out there, aside from Christine, is having a Saturn return, whether it's an Aquarius or not, a Saturn return represents the part of you that is maturing. And if you look back 7 years, you'll see the same topics and the same themes come to light. 7, 14, 29 years. Excuse me, Saturn returns go in a cycle. So just like anything else goes in a cycle. So you want to see, what does it represent for you? Are you now the authority in something? Are you refusing to take the authority? And that's what Saturn returns represent. So when we get back to the discussion of, let's see, what's the topic? Mars. That's assertiveness. That's action. That's motivation. That's momentum. That's moving in a direction that helps you to feel like you're productive. What does it feel like? It feels eclectic. It feels wild. It's Aquarius. It feels uncharted territory. It feels musical. It feels scientific. It feels astrological. These are all the things that Aquarius represents because it's guided by Uranus. And where does it take place? Third house of communication. Style of communication, yes. What you say when you open your mouth, but ultimately it's how you fire synapses, what your belief system is, and what you really think is happening. Because, getting back to that scenario of, I want to drop 5 pounds, and you did it once, it worked, and then you did it again, and it's not working, and now you go hard. Now you deprive yourself more. Less calories, more workouts, a different plan. And then you jump from plan to plan and suddenly become so obsessed about, I got to drop the weight. It's just common sense if I followed the plan, right? It would happen, but it's not happening. So then what? That's when you back off. That's when you leave it alone. That's when you detach. Because somewhere in your belief system is a belief, whether you're conscious of it or not, that it was never going to happen at all. It was going to happen that one time, but now you're different and the circumstances are different, but you're not different because some part of you thinks that you're not worthy. Excuse me. You're not worthy of it. You have to work really hard at it. You didn't like it the first time. So all these beliefs come into play. Excuse me. And you're wondering, well, now what do I do? Now where do I go? Now what am I supposed to work at? It's not always an easy thing. I have tickle in my throat. So that's why I think it's important. I'm going to shuffle some cards. Excuse. My dog is tippy-tapping around me. She thinks it's snack time. All right, so let's just focus now on the thing that you think you can't change. Whatever that thing is. Excuse me. Whatever you think that thing is, it had an origin. Maybe you tried it, didn't work, and you're like, see, doesn't work. So that's your belief. Maybe you tried it once, twice, 3 times, it worked, but then it didn't. Oh well, doesn't work now. Now what's going to work? So somewhere in you, you're believing something that isn't conscious, that isn't logical. Because if things were logical only ever, you would be able to get from point A to point C, D, or E without struggle. But what comes up is an experience. that tells you, yeah, I don't know. Something tells me this time it's not going to work. Something tells me this time it is going to work, even though it didn't work last time. Something tells me, well, what is that something? What are you listening to? There's an inner voice in you that says you have the ability to change matter in any area of your life, wealth, health, passion, purpose. So let's just focus on one thing that you cannot change. Maybe it's you keep trying to, change the nature of your marriage, get along better with your spouse or your mate. Well, you can't change anybody else. You can only work on you. And that results in a couple of things. People will look at you and say, I like what you're doing. I want to come along. How do we do this? Or someone will say, yeah, I don't know where you're going. It scares me, or I'm not interested. And they go away. Or you stay exactly the same. So you can only do what you can do. Now, a lot of times, and I talked about this before, people have resistance to making any kind of transformation because they believe that, oh my gosh, if I make this change, I'm going to have to leave my job. Where am I going to get the money to support my dreams? Or if I make this transition, I'm going to lose the love of my family or my lover or my children or my friends. So the belief is already preempted your outcome. Look, I can't do it because that's going to happen. And then what's going to happen? And so the unknown comes into play and you're like, yeah, I'm just comfortable here. This is pretty good. I got it pretty good right here. And so I don't need to do a whole lot. But then comes along your evolution, which turns into a revolution, and depicted by, let's show, visual aid, depicted by, we have Sun in Scorpio, Mercury in retrograde in Scorpio, and they are within 8 degrees. In fact, they're almost conjunct today, October 26th, 2020. And what that tells me is that there's an inner conversation, an inner dialogue that's about to surface that tells you you're more than you think you are, or that belief that you had about this thing, this person, this experience, yourself, or some part of whatever you're working on or doing is different. Not better or worse necessarily. That's your own assessment or evaluation, but it's different. And if something is not what you thought it was, I think the things that throw us the most in life is when you don't know what you don't know is coming. You don't feel it, you don't see it, there's no evidence, and that's what we live by. We like to see evidence of, so you try to lose that 5 pounds for that event you're going to in 6 months, and you're working on it, you get your calculations, you're online on those diet places, you're, measuring, you're doing whatever you can, and you're getting closer and closer and closer, and maybe you drop 2-3 pounds, and you're like, why can't I get those last 2? Why can't I? I'm so pissed off I can't get those last 2. And then suddenly the focus shifts from the original goal to what's not happening. And then what's not happening becomes the forerunner, becomes the outcome. So when we look at Scorpio and Mercury in retrograde conjunct within 8 degrees, and it's more intense within 4 degrees, an exact degree would be, they're both the same numbers, but it's opposite. Uranus in Taurus. And we're building. Remember last week on Thursday, I talked about we're going to build to an exact when the moon is 8 degrees and change minutes of Taurus on October 31st, and we're building up to this, and the conversation begins now. What do I really believe about this thing, about this person, about me, about that situation, about my potential, about my insecurity? What do I really believe? And your beliefs are going to get thrown to the side, and they need to, because what you don't know is really how powerful you are in affecting transformation. And people don't want to change, but nobody wants to change. Who wants to change? Raise your hand. But the exciting thing is that when you want to get something done, or you've got a project you're excited about and you're moving forward on something, and you say, I'm really looking forward to that thing being completed. Then I get paid. That's an incentive. Or then I get the accolades, or then I just feel satisfaction. Any number of things you could be experiencing looking at the outcome of something. But the initial momentum, remember I pulled him this morning, Mars, the initial momentum of Mars is, what is your motivation? Why? If you believe that you're not going to get a job, there's a lot of people looking for work right now. If you believe you're not going to get a job because you're underqualified, overqualified, your age, your color, your gender, whatever, if you believe that on a deep down recessed place, but even though your head's so positive, come on, I got a new resume, we're going to, yay, I'm going to make the phone calls and the email, I have Zoom, yeah, and then you're going for it, but it doesn't happen. What do you see? You see the outcome is it's not happening. And then the questions begin. Why isn't it happening? It's logical that if I did this, this, and this, it should happen. A plus B equals C. St. Pythagoras proved it. Why doesn't it work for me? And then that's where we go. And then we do whatever we do to find proof that we tried really hard. Look at all the rejections I got. And then that belief becomes the predominant belief. And then that stops you and thwarts your progress. So you got to back up a little bit and just really enjoy what you're doing, enjoy fun, and find something that gives you that feeling of forward momentum, even if it's not on the goal itself or toward the goal itself. Because remember, what does it feel like? This is what it is. If you have astrological dice, this is what it is. The first roll is the planet. That tells you what it is, what's happening. It's about your momentum moving forward, how it feels. That would be the dice that contains the sign, how it feels. Aquarius, it feels uncharted territory. It feels eclectic. It feels rebellious. It feels humanitarian. It feels outrageous. It feels, you want to fight for freedom. It feels like there's a cause, or it feels suddenly musical. Now I have the time. I'm going to learn how to play the piano or the violin or the guitar. Or it feels astrological. Oh, now I really want to understand astrology better. And then where it takes place in the spectrum of the astrological dice is the number of the house. And it takes place in house 3. And that represents your style of communication. And then I pulled a card. So the universe is already telling me we're focused on beliefs today, Elaine. This is what we're going to talk about. This is the card I pulled this morning. Beliefs. So where are your beliefs taking you on? What kind of momentum? I should just check in. Hey, Casey. Quesadich. Is that a word? I don't know. My momentum is not toward learning a new language right now. So let me pull a card. Does that make sense? If you're watching this in a replay, it doesn't matter if today is October 26, 2020. What matters is that this is evergreen information, that you can look at anything astrologically and say, well, this is what I think it means. This is what I want it to mean. But what it means for you specifically with the Sun in Scorpio and Mercury retrograde in Scorpio is that you're about to uncover something. And this could deal with your joint venture and processes with insurance matters and retirement plan, estate planning, or it could deal with your spouse's income or situation. There's a lot of definitions based on who you are and what you've been manifesting in the world. But if you can understand that everything you are, and I'm going to pull these, today I'm going to work with the Secret Language of Light cards, because they're really pretty. Hey, what was that? No shadows allowed. So that's what we're going to work on, your beliefs. So here, it's for the collective. I'm just going to pull a quick card for the collective on how to alter those beliefs so that you get more in tune with what your needs are. Because whatever you think you want, deep down, some part of you says, no, I'm not ready for it. Yeah, I'm worth it. I'm not ready for it. Or I'm definitely not worth it. Or I don't know what that. Or I want that thing. I don't think my timing is right. It goes hand in hand with I'm not ready. But do I really want that thing? Because if that thing happens, then these other things are going to change. And I don't know if I'm ready for that. Again, I'm not ready for it. But it's a little bit more specific on why you're not ready for it. Hey, Darlene from Michigan. I'm pulling one card for everyone, Darlene. Are we releasing at the blue moon? Well, you can go back to the beginning and listen to what I've been talking about. But this particular blue moon is going to be conjunct Uranus in Taurus. And it means it's going to zap your belief system, what you think you're not worthy of, or why you think a certain way and how it's not working for you, or how to really create your own sense of self-worth and power. So I'm going to pull this card for the collective. It's for everyone on helping you to get really clear on how, one way, one of many ways, to get really clear on not being so surprised at how powerful you are and to move those thoughts out of Scorpio, out of resentment, manipulation, power struggle on the downside, on the upside, on when you are giving, how to protect yourself with healthy boundaries, and how to investigate the parts of you that are not moving forward, are not expanding. Because again, the cards don't tell you who you are. You tell you who you are by what you think and how you act and what you believe. So, all right, let me just focus on these. Does that make sense? And if you're watching this on YouTube and a replay on Facebook, just remember that the information is evergreen. It doesn't just apply to the blue moon, although this is going to facilitate and unravel a lot of things for you as we come up on the eclipses in December. Oh, we're going to be talking a lot about that starting November. All right. What you can do to help yourself. Okay. Well, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about manifestation. And I love that. My hair is sticking, sorry. Okay, manifestation. This is the card I pulled. And because of green screen, you may not always see the full image. There it is. Manifestation, okay? What are you manifesting? You're manifesting all the time. Law of attraction didn't come into being because somebody made a movie or wrote a book. Law of attraction is what it is because you are who you are and you're on this earth and you're pure conscious love. So this is one stop in the universe. It's not the beginning. It's not the end. It's just where you are right now. And so where you are right now while you're manifesting is where you put your focus. Let's look at the image. There is a spotlight. Oopsie. There's a spotlight from the cosmos coming to the earth. Wherever you put your focus, that's what's manifesting. Now, a logical person would say, well, I don't focus on loss or destruction or car accidents or illness. I don't focus on that. No, but some part of you is. And that's the purpose of things like the full moon conjuncting Uranus, to open in with opposing Scorpio. The planets aren't doing it to you. It's just, this is showing me your timing and my timing. What are you ready for? And you may not think you're ready, but a lot of times you're ready. Because if it's happening, there's a part of you, you've got different parts of you, many faceted being, right? So when you're manifesting, you're manifesting from many different places simultaneously. Oh, look at that. Those shoes, they're so cute. Let me check my bank account. I should probably pay the phone bill first. But those shoes are so cute. So you find a way to make that happen. Hey, honey, Christmas early. My birthday's in February, but those shoes are so cute. So you find a way to bring it to you, whether you're using a conscious facility or not, you are using your consciousness. And a lot of times you might say, here's an example. I had a client once who broke her ankle. And she said, I do everything right. I study, I meditate, I chant, I get read. I make a great living. And, why would I fall down the stairs and break why? I'm present. And I said, well, apparently there was some part of you that was conversing in a different language, needed you to slow down, needed you to listen to your body more. So that's why. Why does it come as such a shock? If you understand that you're the magnet for everything in your world, this is everything here is because of this, because of you. And I'm not saying that people want bad things to happen or negative things to happen. Things happen. We live in a biological world, a chemical world, an environment where you cannot stop somebody else's trajectory if they're on a tear to get to the office and they don't look at you and they run a red light and you get, whoa, that was close. That's a scare. But if you understand that they may not always hit the car. I was in the car with my mother once a few years back, and we watched this in slow motion. It was, what? Across the street, this is a busy intersection. Okay. Now we're here, few cars back at a red light, 2 cars back at a red light. Then there's the people wanting to come this way from the red light directly across the street. And then over there was a guy turning in a small car. Now the light hadn't changed yet to green, but the second it did, this guy was already turning. Some guy across the street slammed on the gas and sped forward and smashed right into the guy turning the corner. And I watched as this car literally, like the rear view mirror, the side view mirror exploded into the air. And his car was coming sideways right at me and my mom. It was like, it was, wow. It was like a pull focus in a movie. And within inches, as I'm thinking, oh, white light protection, white light protection, white light protection. And I was very calm about it. And the car just within inches just skidded to a stop. So I pulled up a little bit. I rolled down the window. Are you okay? Meanwhile, that car, the big truck that hit him, took off. Some other guy didn't like what he did, so he took off after him. I'm sure he caught him. But this guy, he was shaken. It's like, are you okay? And now people are trying to get and go. And so when you're in a situation where, and there's been other times when I got actually hit by someone and totaled, because I knew at that time, when I look at those years, those 2 accidents, one happened directly to me, and I'm just driving, and a woman ran a stop sign and plowed into me, and I went into a tree head first. My car was done. Now, at that time, I was spinning in my world. I was spinning in my life. I didn't know where I was going, metaphorically, and I wasn't even supposed to be on that road. I was in the wrong place, right? That's what people, oh, you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. Yeah, but I put myself there because my mind was spinning. I was scattered. I wasn't grounded. Now, fast forward many years, I'm a lot more grounded and I see that thing coming and I know it's not going to hit me. But if it did, I would be okay. So the belief that changed from back then when I got smashed into a tree to that time a few years ago when that car got hit and literally the whole car was side skidding toward me, I thought, okay, I'm okay. I'm okay. Mom's okay. The guy's okay. And we were okay. So that's a manifestation. Everything you think is a manifestation. And you think it long enough, oh boy, you think something long enough, it shows up. And that's where we like evidence. We like to see proof. And that's why I look at astrology. So let's look at this now for a second. If you want to be manifesting something a little bit more positive and you're not getting the results that you want, let's just look at what's happening. We have Mars in retrograde, which represents, it's not doing it to you, it represents that momentum, and we rolled the Mars die. The momentum is not happening in the direction that you would like or at the speed at which you would like it. So, I got all my stuff going on. My desk is piles of stuff that I'm organizing, and I like what I'm working on. And it is going slower than I would have hoped. But I understand that if I push the river or attempt to push the river, I'm not going to like the results. So I'm just getting lost in things I love. Yesterday I worked, and then when I felt done, like I'm done, it's not done. I'm done, it's not done. I went to the kitchen and I made candy and fudge, all keto, no sugar. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. We were like, oh, I felt like Lucille Ball on the conveyor belt. Oh, let's try that one. Let's try this one. So it was fun. I had fun. And doing that, helping myself to just be where I was so that my momentum still had a place to go, and it went happily. It went with eclectic ideas of candy making. And so I communicated to myself, don't push it. If all right, if you have a job and you have to get a report in or something done by, 4:00, all right, then there's a deadline. And that pressure, you live up to it or you don't. But to admonish yourself for not doing it or not getting it in on time, be easy with yourself, because there are delays now. There are a lot of delays, and delays show up, especially when planets are retrograde. Now, are they? Yes, Casey, thank you. That's one of my favorite episodes. That was me yesterday. I was like, well, let's try the peppermint one. Oh, wow, it's kind of grainy. I'll have to melt the sugar or the monk fruit in a different way. And then it was, oh, let's try the orange one. Oh, I made fudge. Let's do that. It was so fun. So that was me. Thank you for posting. So when you're looking at manifesting something that you really want to get done, and you could be so Virgo about it, you're like, I have a checklist. I did 1 through 5, and now I'm moving on 6 through 10, and then all hell breaks loose and the phone rings, or, your kid comes in and they fell and their knee is bleeding, or, the phone stops working. You're in the middle of a Zoom call and you lose power, and you were about to close the deal, and stuff is going to happen. But it's how you respond to the stuff. It's the belief that you have. Oh, I knew it wasn't going to happen. That belief is not going to get you very far or make you very happy. So that's the momentum we're looking at. The Neptune in retrograde is all about that dream, what you want to finish, what you want to affect by way of service, but not at the sake of yourself. Not at the sake of yourself. So you want to paint a picture, you want to write a poem, you want to sing a song, you want to make a movie, you want to give readings, get readings. It's all about your philosophy, about your beliefs, about your karma. And karma's not good or bad. It's just it's a manifestation of your thoughts. That's it. Manifestation of your thoughts. And so the ideal vision that you have, that's a Neptune thing. So this triad over here is going to start to lose some steam in Capricorn. Well, actually, I'm kind of happy because that it's been there, because it brought up things that I needed to heal, to look at, to readjust, because I'm a Capricorn rising and I have Jupiter and Saturn in Capricorn. So I'm just getting through my Saturn return. That's when Saturn returns to the same sign as in your natal chart that you were born in. But those things for me represent a grand trine. So it's been very beneficial and very healing. But for some people, it feels like a burden or a heaviness. And so in December, when we start to celebrate those eclipses that are coming, which I'll be talking about at length, so please come back and join me every Monday and Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific, until the clocks change again. I don't know. I'm thinking I'll stick with 10 a.m. Pacific, or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Because then we don't change clocks here in Sedona. So 10 a.m. Pacific becomes 11 a.m. my time. That might be too late. So I might go 9 a.m. Pacific or 9:30 Pacific. We'll see. Okay, but getting back to this, when Saturn and Jupiter represents expansion, Saturn represents another form of karma and authority and taking back your power and ambition and building something from the ground up, moves into Aquarius in December, then there's going to be a whole shift of energy on this planet. These are outer planets. Personal planets are Venus up there in Virgo right now, Mars, Earth is a personal planet, and Mercury is a personal planet. So they rotate closer to the sun on the ecliptic plane. So they're considered personal planets and they move faster. And when they do, we don't always notice the change, but when the big planets, the outer planets, make the big constellation jump, suddenly there's a collective, wait, what just happened? I need to protest. Wait, what just happened? Look at that. We've just discovered something. Or, like I said the other day, there's going to be, by 2023, I think it's 2023 or 2033, one or the other, there's going to be 4G service on the moon. And so there's going to be a collective shift in awareness when Saturn and Jupiter move into Aquarius. I'll be talking about that in the weeks ahead. So please come back and stay tuned. All right, so getting back to manifestation before we close up the day, just remember that you are pure conscious love. You're an extension of the light. You exist here, now, and everywhere. And that energy makes matter. So everything you focus on repeatedly, continually, has an effect and shows evidence of it in the world. So practice with it in a conscious, intentional way. Practice with the, oh, my needs are met, my needs are met, my needs are met, even if I don't know how to meet them. That's a key one. And I trust my needs are met. Okay, so that when you start to develop that trust, it's not so much with the outside world, it's with yourself and the pure conscious love that is waiting, your higher self that is waiting to show you all the stuff that you came here to do and be and have. All right, folks, that's it for now. I'll be back on Thursday, same bad time, same bad channel. So until then, may your momentum take you to delicious chocolatey places. All right, thank you for being here. Thank you for being. As always, I wish you peace. Be sparkly, and I'll see you on Thursday.